Hey, welcome to the Solo Quest number 4. I'm Kyle Tomko. I just want to give you a brief snippet of why I do these. I do these because it's not necessarily for all those that are watching. It's for myself, and it might help the people that are watching, but I just want to share what's on my mind. It helps me build up my charisma, helps me build my weaknesses in speaking. I'm trying to talk slower, trying to talk more articulate, but it doesn't always work. I'm still going to talk fast, and I'm still going to just get on these, so I just go crazy. But that's just me. It's often funny for me personally that I learn more if it comes out of my mouth than if hearing it from another person. They can say something to me 1,000 times, but it won't actually click for some reason until I say it to myself. So please help with that. I watch all these videos and I enjoy them all, and I wouldn't post them if I didn't like them. Today I want to talk about just some minor things, living by the Spirit. And the reason I want to talk about living by the Spirit today is simple. Oftentimes there are people that say, I'm a Christian, but if somebody comes to them in a time of need, or somebody comes to them asking questions, they don't have the answers to give, or they don't want to give anything to the person that's in need. This is tough. This is very tough. Galatians 6:2 says, bear one another's burdens, and therefore fulfill the law of Christ. That's the law of Christ. Bear one another's burdens. That doesn't necessarily mean, here's $1 million, here, congratulations, I'm now completely broke. But it could. For me personally, if somebody's definitely in need, and you can ask a lot of my friends about this, if I have what they need, I'm going to give it to them, even if it means, and it makes me broke, or it makes me missing something that is a need for me. I gave my car to somebody over Christmas break because their car broke down here, and she needed to drive to Pennsylvania, so I gave her my car. I needed a car. The first day of work for me at my new job, I had to ride my bike to work 4 miles uphill. Yeah, I sound 4 miles uphill in the snow with no shoes. No, it's just 4 miles, and it was very hilly. And yes, hilly might not be a word. I'm going to have to talk to Webster, try to get it in there, but I'm just saying, it's hilly. It was bad. I was so tired afterwards. I was sweating, and I was trying not to sweat because I was going to a new job. But, I kept sweating and sweating and sweating. So it was fun. It was a blast. Not really. But, as long as she was happy, I was happy. I wasn't going home for Christmas, and I didn't go home for Christmas. I just wanted her to be able to go home for Christmas, and her parents didn't have to drive down to Virginia, so that was good. I didn't want them to have to drive all the way to Virginia if we could solve it right now. So, anyways, the first verse I want to share today, besides Galatians 6:2, since I already shared it, is Philippians 2:4. Philippians 2:4 says, do not merely look out for yourself, but the interests of others. With this verse, what it says and what it means are so impactful in life. I can't stress to you enough, we're supposed to be on this road together. We're not supposed to be on 1,000 different roads. We're supposed to be on one road going to the same place together. We're supposed to be on that road to heaven. We're supposed to be on that road. And I think of it like, I explained it to one of my atheist friends a long time ago in high school. I explained it to him. I said, it's like a road, it's like a road of Legos. Not a roller coaster, it's like Legos. And sometimes the Legos are missing. That's exactly what I said to him, and I said it in the weird voice too, because I just thought it was funny, and I thought it sounded very strong at the time. But thinking back on it, it was strong. Might not have been as strong as I meant it to be, but it was. And I was just thinking that time, and I just wanted to ramble something off because that's what I like doing. But it was strong for him. It was a very powerful saying. The road is like a road of Legos, and sometimes that Lego may be missing, and so there's a big hole in the road, so you have to go around the hole. And if you fall into that hole, then you need somebody to help you get out of it, right? You can't go on life living by yourself. Just like going into a new job, or going into new school, or something along those lines, you can't do it alone. I came 3,500 miles from home to go to school in Lynchburg, Virginia, from Washington State. It might be more than 3,500 miles. I just say 3,500 miles. It might be less. I think it's right around that. We'll see. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. The point is, I came with nothing down here. Nothing. But I had the support of my parents, and at the time I had the support of my grandfather, who passed away sadly a week after I got to Liberty, and that was very difficult for me. But you know, I had all these things, and I couldn't do it alone. I couldn't. So, but you know, as long as I had that support from my family, and as long as I had the support of my friends from back home, then it worked out fantastic. I'll let you know something about me. Start off is I can be very annoying when you first meet me, to everybody or to anybody, and people either love me or they hate me. And that's because I talk so much. I like talking. I like meeting new people, and I like finding out about the person. After a few weeks or so, the people get adjusted to me, and so that's why I'm trying to fix that about myself. I'm trying to talk slower and trying not to talk as much. It seems to be working. But what I'm saying is, for the first couple of weeks, it was rough. Because I didn't really have friends down there, and I was kind of nervous and scared. And I know other people go off to college and they have nobody there, so they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But I felt extremely alone. And then when I lost my grandfather that week, I felt even more alone. But then I noticed that I already had built good friendships there because there were people there that cared for me. So that was kind of cool. But, you know, we can't walk on the road alone. And if you want to get somewhere in your future, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Especially in the sports industry, which I'm going into. If I want to be a general manager like my dream is, well, it used to be my childhood dream, now it's a different dream. But, you know, it might happen, you never know, and that might be a fun job. But that's not where I want to go with life anymore, and I'll explain that in a minute. But if I wanted to get there, it's never going to be about what I know. It's not going to be book smarts. It's about who you know. And, you know, if I don't know anybody in the sports industry, how am I going to get into the sports industry? Yeah, I might have a great interview and I might have to start out low, but I have to eventually meet people and build bonds with those people in order to move up in the food chain, move higher up in the business aspect of it, you know. So it's not about what you know necessarily, but it's about who you know. And yes, you have to know stuff. You have to know this and this and this and this and this and all the sports laws and all the sport facility crap. But you can't get anywhere if you don't know anybody, and you never want to be alone. How many people do you know of that want to be alone 100 hours out of the week or so, you know? Nobody. I can't stand to be alone that long. I can't stand to be alone at all. I love having people around. I love talking to people. But you know, my favorite time is when I have time with God. And because I'm not alone. And you know, that's another thing we have to think about. You're never alone, so to say, but it's always good to have people around you that push you and help you, because if you don't have that strong support system that God has provided for you, if you keep pushing those people away, I'm telling you, it's going to be 10 times harder to do anything you wanted to do. I have great friends. I know it sounds funny, but I do. I have fantastic friends. That's just, I was blessed with them. God put them into my life. I had fantastic people help me through my worst 2 years of my life yet. And, you know, it wasn't the worst 2 years of my life, like fun-wise. I had a blast. It was the great. But, you know, it was the worst and the best, because I learned about God, and I learned God, and I accepted God into my heart. And, you know, it was just a big piece of humble pie given to me every day over and over again. And I kept ignoring it, and I kept ignoring it, and I kept ignoring it, and it was bad. You know, I didn't thank God for all the good things I had in life, and I didn't like I said, I didn't really listen to what people were saying to me. I was just going on what I wanted to believe. There were great people in my life that helped me. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic people. Some of the most spiritual people I've ever known, and I'm glad they were in my life. And I hope I can continue friendships with them for the rest of my life, because they're fantastic. But you got to realize, on my standpoint of everything, that I wanted to be on that road alone. I wanted to be up here, and you all have to be down here, because for me, my life was all about competing at that time. You know, I'm a very competitive person. No matter what, I'm always going to be competing. Whether it's to keep up with somebody on a bike, whether it's to keep up with somebody, um, keep up with somebody running in challenges, stuff like that. Sports, I'm gonna try to be number one. And I'm never gonna be number one in everything, but I can sure as heck try. Sports are fun. You gotta realize that it's a game, though. You do everything you can, and then if you lose, you thank God for it. If you win, you thank God for it. But you can't be angry at it. You can't be upset with it. Galatians 5:25 through 26. If we live by the Spirit, let us also walk by the Spirit. Let us not become boastful, challenging one another, envying one another. That's simple right there. If you can have a healthy competition and not envy the other person if they win, then you're good. I mean, it says not challenging one another. That doesn't mean like sports or anything. You know what that means? Spiritually. I'll be honest with you. I struggled with that this summer. I struggled spiritually challenging one certain person in my life because I was so nervous what people were going to think. I was like, I don't know my Bible as well as this person or that person. I need to be up here, and they're all up here right now, and I need to get up there. But I can't get up there if I'm not putting myself into the Bible, right? Well, instead of putting myself into the Bible and trying to get better and trying to trust in God that He had plans for me, I took myself completely out of the Bible. It wasn't great. It was more like I was like, you know what? I can do this alone. I want to learn about God alone without God. That's how I did. So from March to about May, I changed completely. All the work I had done from November to May, or November when I accepted God, to about to about March, was basically thrown out the window because instead of trusting in God or praying to God or believing in God or anything like that, I decided that I wanted to be my own God. I wanted to provide for myself. I wanted to make myself better. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. It was all about me. You know the song Toby Keith, I want to talk about me, I want to talk about, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, that was me. I wanted to talk about just me. I wanted to build myself. I didn't want to build anybody else. I wanted to make people down to my level, so I would bring them down to my level. You know how I did that? I demeaned them. I was rude to them. I disrespected them 24/7. I didn't take them for what they were worth. My best friends, I lost them all. And some of my best friends will say, you never lost us. But in my mind, I did. Because I didn't want them. I wanted to be by myself with no one else. I cut contact with everybody from March. I was alone. Even if I was hanging out with a person, I would still not be there. I'd be like, no, I want to get this done. I want to go home. So, that was in March, after I got a phone call. From that phone call, I was like, crap. Here we go. And that was probably the worst day of my life. And it wasn't because it was a bad phone call. It was a fantastic phone call. I got hired to work at this awesome summer camp that I was so pumped to work at. But realizing that you're not ready to work at a summer camp as a counselor because you're not strong enough in your word and because all you think about right now is competition and how you have to fight with the other counselors because you want all the kids to like you instead of them liking the other counselors. I wish I could be John Collins, but I'm not John Collins. Just kidding, John, I like you. John Collins was a counselor at Seneca Hills, and all the kids loved him no matter what. They didn't even know him, but they loved him. And I looked at that and I was like, man, I wish I was like that, but that's not what it's about. I could have all the kids like me, and a lot of the kids did like me. A lot of the kids hung out with me, but it was to the point where I didn't want to hang out with anybody. I was my own person, and frankly, I didn't care what you thought. I was going to live my life how I wanted to live my life. Not how God wanted me to live my life, but how I was going to live my life, because that's how I thought I could get better. That's how I thought I could learn this a lot better. And you know what I did? March on to, what did I say, September or August? I read Hebrews. That's it. Hebrews. I didn't fill any of this out. As you can see, full of jink. I didn't fill any of that out. I stopped that in March. Let me rephrase that. I rewrote it in the composition notebook at summer camp, but I didn't read any of it as I was writing it. I can't explain to you enough how important it is to have people in your life that are there to support you through thick and thin, no matter what, and you have to let them criticize you constructively. You have to accept that they know what they're saying. Hey, Kyle, you're being a little rough on this person. Or, hey, Kyle, you're demeaning people. You got to stop that. Or, hey, Kyle, did you see what you just said to that person? Or, Kyle, that's not funny. Or, you have to be able to accept that stuff. And you have to be able to build from it. Hey, Kyle, I don't think that, you need to get so heated up as you talk to somebody if you're upset with them. You need to try to be calm about it and listen to their side. Hey, Kyle, this is the one that hurt me the most, guys, and it actually stuck with me. Hey, Kyle, sometimes you have to look through the other person's eyes. Then you go and you look through the other person's eyes and you're like, did I really do all that stuff? Did I really make them feel awful? Did I really say that to them? Wow. Way to go, Kyle. Like I said, I'm not angry at anybody. And I hope that nobody's angry with me. But, there are people that are angry with me. And that's because I haven't made up with them. I've had people from junior high, high school send me messages. I've had over 2,000 messages. I'm not even kidding. And I'm not saying as in 2,000 different people. But, back and forth conversation with all these people. And I would say there's probably 70 people. 70. Since junior high. And I get this message. Hey, Kyle. Remember throughout junior high and high school how I was so much of a jerk to you? Yeah, I can't forget. You kind of pushed me into my locker. You kind of punched me in the face and then got me suspended for it. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Really? You're sorry for that? And now this is the time. This is where I went wrong. I said, really? You're sorry for that? Let me ask you this. When I was sitting alone at the lunch tables in junior high, and I had no friends in junior high, and I'll be honest with you, I had literally no friends in junior high. I might have had one, but it wasn't even that good of a friend because I didn't treat him like a friend. But I'll be honest with you. When I was sitting alone, and this is what I said to him, I said, when I was sitting alone at that lunch table and you came up and you pushed my tray off the table and everybody laughed at me, and I just smiled at you, how did that make you feel? I wasn't liked in junior high. I never had as many friends as other people. I tried to fit in. I tried to buy stuff for people to make me feel better. I'd buy them a snack or something here or there to just get them hang out with me for a few minutes to fulfill my friendship thing. I would go home and I'd play video games or watch TV. I wouldn't hang out with anybody. I had no friends. I never played any sports. I was in the marching band. Well, I was in the band. We didn't have a marching band. And I didn't even make any friends in there. There's some that I can say that are friends now, or there's some that were kind of friends then, and there were some that I did hang out with, but I ruined those friendships. And I couldn't fix that at the time. And I can't fix that now. But, all these people that have sent me stuff, hey, I'm so sorry for what I did to you. Remember when I did this to you? I apologize greatly. And my new answer to them is, it's okay. I forgave you a long time ago, because I did. When I went into high school, I made a decision for myself. And yes, I was still annoying throughout high school, and probably, frankly, people think I'm annoying now still, and that's okay. I'm still working on it. I'm not 100%. I'll never be perfect, but I can work on stuff, and I'm working on it. But let me tell you this. When I went into high school, my thoughts were, if I get some friends, then I'll be okay. I never dealt with peer pressure. Never. Because I didn't allow myself to. If somebody said, why don't you do this, Kyle? I'm like, I would fight it no matter what I say because that's stupid, and I would go off on them. No wonder they didn't like me, right? No wonder they just asked me to do something, and it wasn't always bad stuff. Hey, Kyle, do you want to go to this movie? It's R-rated. No, I don't want to go to that R-rated movie. I don't look at R-rated movies. Those are bad. I was in 10th grade and I said that to somebody. Yeah, and it was a bad movie. You know, it was some gory movie, but I wasn't gonna go to it because I didn't want to see it. I love gore movies now, though. Don't get me wrong. That's been getting better, but I still try not to watch a lot of graphic stuff like that because I think it's pointless sometimes. But you know, there are some cool movies that I enjoy. And am I a bad person for watching an R-rated movie? No, I haven't done anything wrong. That's what I feel, at least. You know, there's people that fight, hey, R-rated movies are horrible, but who cares? They can judge me all they want. I'm not going to judge them. Anyways, let me get back to the point. I just tell those people, it's okay, I forgive you. Don't worry about it. Did it hurt me at that time? Yeah, it made me feel like crap. You know, I hated junior high. I spent my ninth grade year, I think it was, working in the computer lab down in the, we call it the dungeon of the junior high, because I didn't want to hang out with anybody. I didn't even have to go to classes, really. They just passed me. I did all my work and I left. I would go work for the librarian, and he would help me. And he would get me out of my classes, and I would go work down there. That's all I had to do. Guys, I brought this on myself. And I brought, throughout high school and college, I brought the people not liking me on myself. Because instead of trying to realize what they were trying to say to me as constructive criticism, because sometimes it was bad, and don't get me wrong, sometimes people are just jerks, and you have to deal with it, but most of the time, some of the people, they were great people. I just didn't take their advice, and I just annoyed the heck out of them, and so they retaliated. I'm working on that now, and I've been doing a lot better, I can honestly say that, and I take advice so much better now, because I trust in the Lord with all my heart. And I know God provides those people in my life to say, hey, maybe you're doing this kind of stupid. You want to rethink this? Yeah, I do. Thanks. Hey, you said something rude to this person, but they're willing to forgive you. Do you want to go apologize to them? Yeah, I do. You know, we're our biggest criticizer. And if you're not criticizing yourself sometimes, then you're not going to get better. Yes, you can over-criticize yourself, and I'm not saying to do that. But healthy criticism isn't bad. If you see that you hurt somebody, you need to apologize. Even if you were meaning to be kind of harsh with it, you still need to apologize. You shouldn't be rude to somebody. There's always healthy ways to tell somebody something. If are they going to get upset? Yes. But you can save the anger. You can save all that away from the person. Like I said, I had no friends in junior high, and in high school I had a handful. I wasn't liked because I was obnoxious and annoying. One of the reasons I went 3,500 miles away from home was to get away from it and have a fresh start. You know what's funny about that? My parents knew. I never told them, but my parents knew. That's why they were so helpful to get me away from there. And it worked out the best for me because I grew so much as a person in those past few years. Like I said, those 70 people that have sent me messages, and we've talked over stuff, and you know, some of them have talked to me about God and how they've accepted God, and it's just fantastic. But those 70 people, it makes me look back on junior high and go, wow, that really happened. Or wow, I did that. Or wow, I let that happen to me and didn't retaliate or anything. But it's good I didn't retaliate. You know, I could have went to the principal. I could have went to somebody. But it wasn't worth it. I got framed for so much stuff in high school and junior high. You know, in junior high, I was framed for cheating on multiple tests. People would say, Kyle got us the answers or something like that. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? I got a D on the test. My teachers knew it wasn't true, but people would try to frame me. I got my stuff stolen multiple times. People like to give me crap because they knew I wasn't going to do anything about it. Somebody came up and sucker punched me right in the face. They came up from behind me and punched me in the face. The bus driver saw it. But I got suspended for it. And you go, why did you get suspended for it? Because I couldn't talk my way out of it. You know, the principal was like, well, we'll take you down and get you a lie detector test. I didn't want to go get put in handcuffs and taken down to the jail at 15 years old. So he made me admit that I hit the person first. And most of you know me, I don't really hit people. Have I been in fights? No, not really. I mean, I've been in scuffles, but they're nothing like, oh, I'm going to knock this person out. No, nothing like that. I'm not a fighting person. But I let people take advantage of me because I didn't know what to do. Because I was so lost and I was so hopeless and I wanted to build my life on my own. My main point here, and I know I've gone a lot talking about my junior high life, and you probably didn't want to hear about that, but my main point, I didn't learn this till I was 20, so whoever watches this, I hope you learned this before I did, or I hope you learned this and so it helps you, because once I learned it, it made me a whole different person. And I wish everybody in my life before November 11th, or before December, or before, you know, as I was growing, you know, everybody in my life from summer camp, everybody in my life from all the jobs I've had, everybody in my life from high school, I changed on November 11th for good. I still do stupid stuff, but that's okay, because I am willing to accept that I'm not perfect. We need people around us to give us that constructive criticism. We need people around us that will watch our back. We need those people. And the only way we can get those people is if we allow them to give us the information they're trying to tell us. I might not know the most about the Bible, and frankly, I know I don't know the most about the Bible. Shoot, there's a lot of people younger than me that know more about the Bible than I do. But that's not going to stop me from talking on this camera to everybody that wants to watch. Because just like I can connect with those middle school and high schoolers because of what I went through in high school and middle school, yeah, I can connect to adults. I can connect to best friends that are my age. I can connect to people that don't know me. Because I'm talking about God. And we're called to talk about God. We are definitely called to talk about God. Let me leave you on this so I can end it before 30 minutes. Hebrews 12:2. For our God is a consuming fire. If I spread the word of God, it'll consume more. Just my thought. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I know it's a long video. I hope you made it through it. Like I said, I'm not angry at anybody. I never will be angry at anybody. I might be frustrated with them, upset with them, but I'm working my way to never being angry at a person again and being able to forgive the person for what they've done to me, even if it's something incredibly insane or they're lying about something and getting me in serious trouble for it, or you know, if somebody says I cheated on a test and I have to get an F in a class because of it, and I really didn't, I'm still going to forgive that person because that's what I'm called to do. And I know my God will provide for me, and there's a reason why that happened. I hope you all have a great night. Questions, comments, please leave them. I do want to ask this, if this motivated you or hit you or really was heartfelt to you and you feel like you want to say something, please post on my Facebook. Please post comments about this. I want to hear from you. Constructive criticism. If I did something wrong, if you don't agree with something, tell me. I want to hear it. Even if it's rude, I don't care. I would like that it's not rude, but I'm going to answer you with the most unrude thing I can think of. And if I have nothing to say to you because of it, which there might be, somebody might say, this is the worst thing I ever heard. Watch. You know what I'll say? Well, thanks for watching. That's all I can say. Until next time, talk to you later.